Kryptonian. So help me welcome Taylor Van Ackern.
Hi guys.
How are you doing? I mean, I just said Taylor Van Ackern, but it's you look like Clark Kent turned into Superman. It's crazy. How you doing?
I've heard that a lot in my life. That's kind
Yeah,
of how I've
yeah,
ended up here. So
yeah.
I'm doing well. Thank you.
Good, good. And we're talking right now, and I just turned to your screen, and you give off Christopher Reeve vibes a little. Have you ever gotten that ever?
All the time.
You
All
do,
the time.
yeah.
Depending how well the hair is and how tight the curl
Oh, that curl. Oh,
at
yeah.
the end, that's when I've noticed it the most is the tighter the curl, the most crisp like compliments that you'll get.
I mean,
Definitely.
and have you seen the new documentary yet, or not yet? For
I saw
Christopher
it in
Reeve?
theaters and it was such an awesome ride to get to see that. It
Oh
was a
yeah,
wonderful film, wonderful documentary all the way through. Really
it
just a
really was.
well-made documentary. Probably the best one I've ever seen, the best one that I've actually sat through all the way and had interest in.
I agree.
But
I
yeah,
agree. The
really great
emotions
story
are
of
like a
this.
roller coaster. I
Yes.
like to say, yeah.
They really show you every angle that they can.
Oh yeah. So as you know, and I think if you follow me, I'm getting going through a journey right now where I want to get confident and ready to put on the suit. Hopefully, you're wearing one day for
It's
the Superman. And I look up to cosplayers like you. It's not easy work, to maintain everything. Um, so. Take us back. Where did all of this begin? Where did your love for Superman begin? When did you start cosplaying? Tell us your
so
story.
that would be this little picture right here of
Ah,
me in the
so,
backyard. And this was Las Vegas at the time because I
oh
grew up
wow,
as a military brat and got to spend chunks of time around the world.
yeah.
But ever since I was a kid, my mom called me her little Superman, and she was a very much Wonder Woman Amazonian type herself.
Oh,
So I came out with bright blue eyes and a little bit darkish brown hair, and it got
yeah.
darker as I grew up. So I was just her little Superman, and then other people would
Uh,
say it. I got old enough to get glasses, and then it just through my life, I was like, it's not a
I'm gonna
bad
take it
thing
on.
to look like or a bad person to look
Yeah,
up to. So I might
yeah,
as well give it a shot and see what I can give. And the
definitely.
more that I aspire to be like him as a person and also just prove that anyone can be everyone's friend,
Mm,
I have learned and
so
met
true.
so many awesome people and awesome lessons.
It's amazing. And that's one thing I always hear with cosplayers is that you guys meet so many people.
Mm-hmm.
I, you know, growing up as a nerd and in the comic world, I never realized how close the community is and that nobody cares, what you look like and
It,
how you
it
are.
really is like
Everybody's
that.
just so close. Yeah. And it's
You are the only
amazing
one that'll ever see the strings and flaws and pin marks. No one will ever pay any mind to it.
to it.
So
Yeah.
like that's everyone's biggest fear of like the initial getting into cosplay
Mhm.
jump is, oh, everyone's gonna nitpick me apart. No, man, we're
Right.
all worried about our own costumes. No one's looking at anyone else's. We're all just here having a
It's
good
so
time and
true.
enjoying each other. Like that's
So
literally
true.
all it ever could be, and it's so awesome to get to have that.
So
Growing
true.
up overseas, I would watch, and New York Comic Con this past weekend was just an awesome experience for me because
Oh yeah.
growing up in Germany, I would watch those walkthrough videos online and
Hmm.
get to see awesome cosplayers when I was like 12 years old,
Oh
like
yeah.
a really badass Captain America kind of thing of
Hmm.
like I want to be that when I grow up and be that kind of awesome person to
Oh yeah.
wear those costumes, to go to those events. And I didn't think it would ever happen. This is now my second New York Comic Con, and I just made the New York
Oh wow.
Post cosplaying in it. Like I
That's
the
amazing,
the
man.
full circle moment of getting to now
Yeah.
be that person that other kids will look up to and be like, "Holy crap, that's an awesome shredded
Hmm.
Superman. What can
Yeah.
I do someday? Go
So
for it,
cool.
kid.
Yeah.
Show us."
Just go for it.
Like
Yeah.
the more people that I can help inspire and get into this, the
Yeah.
better.
And I mean, you sound exactly like Clark Kent from Superman. You sound like and just communicating with you on social media, you embody what he is and what he means. And I think that's also an
Try
important
to.
key when you do cosplay for Superman. It's hard to cosplay Superman because when you're in the mode of being it, you have to be that nice, amazing guy. And I'm sure it's not hard for you.
It's it comes naturally. and
Yeah,
I still do have my frustrations, and I still get stuck in
of
traffic
course.
like everyone else.
Of course, yeah.
We're all still human,
Yeah.
but I do try to focus on
Mhm,
the good things. And without Superman in my life, I don't know that I would do that nearly as
mhm.
often. So it's very
Right.
much a
He's
good
true.
thing, and in my case, to have that as just an overall kind of presence to keep me
Mhm,
on track of what I'm doing, of what I'm focusing
mhm.
on, of who I'm talking to, of where it's going to lead me. How
So true.
I want to be able to help people. So
Mhm,
what I can do to set me on those paths to have those resources to do those things,
mhm.
that's what I'm about.
Love it.
And
And you just mentioned, so you traveled the world, like when you were younger?
a little bit. I spent 5 years
Mm.
in Japan, 5 years in
Oh, wow.
Germany. At New York Comic Con, I got to say "Watashi wa desu ka Superman" and introduce myself in Japanese to
Oh,
people who
wow.
spoke Japanese.
Yeah, yeah.
And then there were Wonder Woman cosplayers from Germany that I also got to have little
Mhm.
chats with in German.
Oh, that's so
Um,
cool.
but growing up through it, I kind of would forget one language to learn the next. So I know little bits of
Yeah.
Japanese, little bits of German, little bits of Spanish, but enough that I can
Wow.
still make those little
Jeez.
bits of conversation to get by. And so,
Superman
like
for the people all over.
Tyler Hoechlin Superman
Oh,
is
oh,
my preferred way of portrayal of the character because of
love it.
how multilingual and how around the world he
Mhm,
is. He
mhm.
doesn't care who you are, what you look like, what your skin is, what your flag is. If you need help, I will help you.
Love that.
That's
Yeah.
Superman.
And I agree with you. And that was just beautifully said. And thank
Thank
you
you.
for saying that. Thank you for saying that. Uh, and I'm looking at your suit right now, and I'm looking closely. You look like you had a successful New York Comic Con over there.
There's a little bit of a fresh little mark on it right there.
Wow.
Yeah.
Is that a J and a G? Who could it be?
Uh, you can actually make out all the way through. It does say James Gunn
Wow.
right there. And there's a bunch of
Okay.
really awesome pictures that I took while it happened and that I had friends in the crowd around me taking while it happened of
That's
him
so
just leaning
freaking
down
cool.
from the stage and signing my suit.
Love
I
it.
really thought that there would be like 20 or 30 of us there in that room wearing these things, and
Mhm.
I ended up being the only
Only
person.
one. And I think
And
because I was in that room watching the jumbo screen, and at one point, because the host was a great, and he had us like up and dancing and trying to get us to the front, and
yeah,
the jumbo screen went to you, and all I remember was James Gunn did come out, and he pointed at you, and I was like, oh my God, he sees him. Let's go. We just wanted
yeah,
him to
but
see him.
before the panel even started, I was riding
Yeah.
a high from that.
Oh
When
yeah.
he walked out and
Yeah.
pointed out to me, I pointed back to him, and then he gave me a
Yeah.
little thumbs up. And then they said something on stage about it, and his mic cut out, and I was like, "Oh man, I missed my chance to jump up." And my friend's like, "Wait,
Yeah.
wait, wait, wait! I think he's going to say it again." And he was tapping my leg the whole time. And
Oh,
then his
so
mic turned back on, and they repeated it again. He's like, "Did you see Superman out there?" He's like, "I was like, yes, I did, sir!" Just jumping up,
so,
and I was so excited. So
I
that
know when
first
he said that I
acknowledgement,
was.
and then getting to him at the end of it
Mhm.
was a thrill, especially because he was trying not to look my direction because a guy behind me had a big Restore the Snyderverse billboard.
Oh,
So
oh
it
my
was risky for
God.
him to take that 3 seconds to sign this,
Oh my
but I
gosh. You
appreciate
can't
him for
make,
doing it.
yeah. And I'm
And
glad he did.
it was just that moment though, I will never forget it. Everyone around me, I like leaning over him yelling, like,
Mhm.
do you have a pen, a marker or something? I just yelled, I
Yeah.
need a Sharpie. And three
Somebody just came,
20 hands lean
here,
forward with
take
markers.
it.
And I was
Yeah.
like, this community is friendly and
Amazing.
helpful.
Yeah.
In any circumstance, they've got your
Yeah.
back.
A lot of communities, they would have been like, no, that should have been me. But everyone's like, no, you take it, man. Because you put in the work to put that suit together. You put in the work to do what you do, and you should be rewarded. And I'm so happy he got a chance. He wasn't because I went up. I tried to run up. I'm hoping nobody saw me run up like it was like I screamed like high pitch. I've never had that high pitch, but he wasn't signing a lot of things, so I'm happy he was able to sign your suit.
Like he was trying to
Uh,
walk away right before he did it to this one, and I
yeah,
was just like, "Sign my suit," and he
please.
was like, "What? What?" I was like, "Sign my S." He was like,
Yeah,
"Yeah, okay."
yeah.
So
And you can
it was
correct me if if you have a different opinion, but I just feel James Gunn is bringing this vibe to the community that unites us all. I met you because of he posted you and everything, and we were able to connect and through New
Hmm.
York Comic Con. And I just feel James Gunn is creating this family oriented community, kind of like how you were just saying. Superman is the man for all people, and I feel he's about to be the CEO and person for all types of comic fans, the Batman fans, the Superman fans, and uniting us. And that's my goal with this is I want to unite the Snyder fans with, hopefully this new generation of Supermans. Making sure that the legacy of Christopher Reeve is still alive, which I feel he's doing.
Yep.
So what is your take on how James Gunn is handling everything?
Like I'll say first, Zack Snyder's was a very specific taste of Superman that I
Yes.
happen to love and thoroughly enjoy. It showed the mythology and the weight of it,
Hmm.
how I think it should
Yes.
be portrayed. There
Yes.
is a lighter side that is more Superman, that is brighter colors, that is
Yeah.
smiles, that is cats from
Hmm.
trees. That
Hmm.
I am kind of I'd like to see again. So
Hmm.
there are two sides to it of, yeah, there's the gods and
Hmm.
monsters. Superman wrestles with
Hmm.
life and death. Let's put that weight on his shoulders and show it and show
Hmm.
what the world thinks of him and how he might react, and let's see him call his
Oh yeah.
mom. But I'm also excited to I will just say, like, the whole cast so far has me thrilled. Like
Oh yeah.
Rachel Brosnahan is Lois Lane, and who they've got for
Amazing.
Jimmy. David alone, like, he's my blend of Tom Welling, Christopher
Mhm.
Reeve, and
Yeah,
kind of Henry Cavill.
yeah.
So like he hits a lot of fronts for me that are the
Mhm.
Superman features, and
And
I'm excited for that.
Isabella Merced, who's playing Hawkgirl, she just kind of came out in an
Yeah,
interview, I think today, where she was
yeah,
saying how he's such a like just a cool guy. He's there for you whenever you needed him on set, and I'm excited to get that. And I know we had that with Henry, but I'm happy that we're seeing it more come out with these actors and a unification kind of thing.
yeah, yeah. The before videos of him getting the casting call of the Twisters cast
Oh
reacting and
my
then
God.
calling him
Yeah.
Clark Kent before all that actually went
Yeah.
down.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, so
So
I
cool.
feel it's in good hands.
I do.
I'm
Yeah,
excited.
I
After
agree
what
with you.
James said in the room with them, like, I really think he's going to blow us away.
I agree. And you're wearing the new suit. A
Hmm.
big talk right now is, and a big divide kind of is the suit. You've put it on, you've seen it. Take us through your journey with this new suit. What are your thoughts?
I'll say
But
from the
honesty is
blunt
key, by the
honesty.
way. We don't judge. Whatever you want to say,
Yes, I'll say, okay, from the blunt honesty of my 5 year
yeah,
old.
yeah,
When I first put it on, he said,
yeah.
"That's Superman."
Ah, that's amazing.
The red
That's
trunks, the belts, the colors, the way it is, the way that it's all proportioned and bodied
mhm,
out, it works really well. I'm so
mhm,
so happy to have a yellow S on my cape again. Like,
mhm.
I have missed that
So cool.
feeling. I've got my Reeve cape right over here.
Oh yeah,
Like, it's got a special place in my heart. But like my first cape I made, I remember, was a yellow T-shirt that I cut out of the shape of Ness, sharpied the black lines onto it, and sewed
wow.
it onto. It was like an old red airline blanket that I had just sewn it onto, and that was my first cape. I
That's
sewed it into a
amazing.
shirt, and like now I've got all of these, and they're wonderful. And like having this,
This Look at
it's
that. Look at it. It's
so
amazing.
it's nice. I
And
like
there's
the
one
line.
specific
It's
um cosplay that you do that does have that S that I really like. It's one of my favorites that I've seen with Superman, where it's all cut up and it
Yeah,
looks like he was just in battle. One of up there it
this is my
is.
Doomsday suit.
So cool and
Yeah.
creative. It's original. I love it.
And this is my first Superman suit that I actually ever got. I've had this since I was
Oh
like
wow.
14.
Wow.
So this is the one that I first ever took out to Paris
Mhm.
when I walked out as for Superman for the first time in public.
So cool.
This has been under the St. Louis Arch, into the Las
Mhm.
Vegas Strip, down
Wow.
Idaho, Florida, New York. It's been all over the world with me,
That's amazing.
and the newspapers too. But like, literally, like, it duct tape belt, and
Wow.
this was the bottom of a
So,
soda can that I literally
so
just covered up
cool.
for it.
Yeah.
Like, use
Creative.
use everyday objects that you don't have to go pay $200 for someone's fancy belt. This made a
I agree.
newspaper just fine. Like
It's so
my
cool.
belt and stuff, and my boots especially, were just an old pair. of boots that I got from the thrift store, covered in
Oh,
red duct
those,
tape. And duct tape burns and cuts really, really well.
yeah,
So the Doomsday boot look for that worked. And then I
so
just
cool.
butchered the toes out of it. Walking around
Wow.
New York with that was a
Yeah.
rough ride, but we did it.
Have you
So
ever created the scene with Lois Lane and holding Superman from Death of Superman? Have you created
we
that
got
yet?
like one or two shots
You
with
did.
a Lois Lane cosplayer at New York, but it was literally just
Oh,
on the floor of the stairs right there during a
yeah,
big
yeah.
photo shoot. I'd like to
So
do a
cool.
proper photo shoot.
Yeah, which would be
And
really
I'm
cool.
like an hour away from civilization in the mountains. So,
Oh, so you're in your Smallville.
yes,
Yeah.
quite literally. Horse, come here, boy. I've
Uh,
got my crypto here. Come here. Yep.
uh,
Okay. He's got to stretch.
oh, and you,
He's
oh, he's
laying
gonna
down.
stretch. Oh, you even have a crypto?
Okay.
Oh my God, it's
Yeah.
Superman and crypto. That's amazing.
I get both.
Special guest alert.
So
What, crypto? How excited are you to have crypto on the big screen, having your own?
it's gonna be a
So
good
cool.
feeling. I've waited for him to be in a
Yeah,
movie for so long. Like we got him in
yeah,
Titans, and Titans showed a
yes.
beautiful crypto, like
Oh yeah.
perfect.
Well, your
Um,
dog reminds. What's your dog's name? Is it
his name is Horace.
Horace? Okay.
From uh War Warframe. Hey, what you doing? He's trying to knock
Oh,
over the chair that computer's on. He's a bit destructive being a super dog. Yes.
uh, well, have you done a photo shoot with him?
Uh, Not a proper one yet.
No,
Lots of
we got to get
selfies.
one of those together. Yeah,
Just him being cute so far, but he's a
it's
really
so
good
cute.
dog. Honestly,
Yeah.
the wife's playing with him now and getting him to
Oh,
shake and
yeah.
be gentle.
Oh,
But
that's amazing.
he could come out and do proper photo shoots with me. It's just
Yeah.
there's a lot of hair that comes off with that, and it's like I'm gonna have to go through and clean off this
Oh,
suit before it goes away again.
yeah. So, and
But
you mentioned you have a son that you're able to show him all these experiences and go through this
yeah,
journey with. How is that as a father to be able to now bring your son through the Superman experience?
so to him it's awesome having dad be
Yeah,
Superman. He's
yeah.
Spider-Man. So he's
Oh,
got
he's
the
Spider-Man.
colors right. He's got the red and
Yeah,
blue there. We're just working on the universe swap.
yeah, yeah,
But he loves it. It's a great time with
yeah.
him. I just did an event at the Knoxville Zoo, Boo at the Zoo, and
Okay.
he got dressed up and just kind of sat by and did his rounds, then got a bag
Hmm.
full of candy and sat, and then until I was done taking my pictures and doing my charity
Oh,
event,
that's
he just kind
amazing.
of sat and watched Dad be Superman,
Oh,
and he loves it. To him, it's just it's an awesome thrill. Other kids will come up and just leave
yeah,
bouncing away happy, and he's just like, "That's awesome."
yeah.
Like he gets to see it now and be a part of it. But like to him, explaining things, I have to come at it
Mhm.
from a different angle. Like to him, this is not a director of Superman signature. This is the guy that made the Scooby Doo movies. He
Oh,
signed
that's
this
amazing, Scooby.
because
Yeah,
he's watched Scooby Doo last week, and oh
because
my god, he made that. Yeah.
yeah,
So like you
that's
just
awesome.
everything's in a different light, but
That's awesome.
it's a privilege. Yeah,
Yeah.
we've got a 5-year-old, and we are due right before Christmas for our
Ah,
second boy, and
oh wow,
his name is going to
congratulations.
be Jonathan,
Ah, good,
a
John.
proper Jon
J O.
Jonathan. So,
Oh, that's how I spell mine too. Yeah, Jon.
yep.
That's awesome.
Um,
Uh,
so we're excited for that.
and congratulations on that. You'll have
Thank you.
you'll have two Superboys, kind of like Superman and Lois. You'll have two of them.
That show has been a huge part of our life, just with
Oh,
everything
really?
happening.
I know
Hmm.
it's on tonight, and I have to. Once we log off, I have to watch it. The suspense is killing me.
I've met Tyler, I've met Bitsy, and I met
Oh,
Michael Politz. So
wow.
having talked to all three of them about how this is going to go down, I'm over the moon. I can't wait.
And Michael's he's such a cool guy. I talked to him through Twitter and everything. He's so
Hmm.
cool. Yeah, I'm excited to see how this wraps up. I'm upset that it's wrapping up, but I'm excited to see, the future, of course.
Yeah,
Uh,
it got a proper ending, at least. I'm
yeah,
grateful for that. We don't get
yeah.
that as well as we should with other things. So,
And so you just mentioned how you were at Knoxville Farm. Is that where you were doing an
the
event?
Knoxville Zoo.
The
Yes.
Knoxville Zoo. So the zoo, and I've had numerous cosplayers say these are amazing moments, and you were just at New York Comic Con when you walk down the hallways. I'm assuming you have kids that come up to you, like, Mom, Dad, can
Mhm.
we take a picture? Can we take a picture? How is that? How do you feel when you see these little kids? Because you're creating the dream for them. They wanted to meet Superman for so long, and now they eventually get to meet you. I mean, I'm 28 and I would jump up even if I saw you too. So, but how is it when these little kids and you're making their lives
Well,
pretty
that's
much?
just it. It's hard not to meet them as that same 9 year
Yeah.
old coming back at them
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
they revert
Exactly.
you back to that inner child again.
Yeah.
They make it as real for you as it is for them again.
Mhm.
So having that interaction be part of
Yeah.
those moments makes
Amazing.
everything worth it. I've gotten to do hospital visits to the sick
Mm.
ward and cancer wards, and gotten to
Okay.
see kids, as well as gotten to go
Mhm.
to like back to school fitness events and talk to
Mm.
kids and great health and great fitness. And
Yeah.
on either spectrum, you're still Superman. So
Yeah.
it them giving you that title is universal regardless.
Hmm.
And whether they're fighting cancer and they just
Hmm.
need a high five to help get through the day,
Yeah.
or they're trying to have a foot race against Superman and you have
Hmm.
to actually show them what's up. There's
Right.
there's both sides to it of
Of
being
course.
gentle but also being kind of able to strut it when you have to. So
Exactly. And when you have to get in that mode of Superman because you're going to see, these kids and you're trying to stay in character, is there a certain song you kind of play that you get ready in your suit that you're like, all right, I got to play this song. I'm going to get Superman ready.
there's a few theme songs. Yeah, there's
There
a bit
are.
of a playlist.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a playlist. Yeah.
The uh, anywhere from the classic Reeves theme to
Mhm.
just all of the Man of Steel, Hans Zimmer playlist as a whole, any that'll do.
Yeah, that's amazing. And I just recently talked to a Poison Ivy cosplayer, and she says, her music is more the she'll play a Poison Ivy playlist, and she goes, it's completely opposite of what a Superman fan would probably listen to. It's more, Cardi B and Pete's Megan the Stallion. I was like, oh, interesting. Yeah, no, we're more John
I
with,
can see
you
that.
know, yeah,
Yeah, John Williams stare off
John,
into the sunset and just
yeah,
kind of enjoy the Hollywood
yeah,
gaze for a
yeah,
minute. Yeah,
exactly, yeah,
that kind of
completely
mood.
opposite. Yeah.
Like you hear the
And
piano notes of the Hans Zimmer score, and you just immediately
yeah,
just start. Yeah,
exactly. And I love seeing the Power Ranger helmets behind you. I'm
thank
a
you.
huge fan of Power Rangers as well, which is so cool.
Yeah.
Have you grown up with Mighty Morphin and kind
My
of through
brother
the,
and I were '90s kids.
oh
He
yeah.
was '93, I was '97, so it
Okay.
was just our whole childhood all the way
Hmm.
through. Um, yeah, I've gotten to meet most of the Rangers. I've gotten most of the
So cool.
helmets signed. Um, yeah, we were fortunate enough to actually meet Jason David Frank before his
Oh wow.
passing, and I met him in my Green Ranger cosplay. The funny
Wow.
story was the helmet was already signed by the time I met him. I lived in
Oh wow.
Idaho at the time. He was in
Yeah.
Knoxville where my mom lived. So I mailed my
Yeah.
helmet back to Knoxville to get them to sign it for me, and they would mail it
Mm.
back. And then, like 5 or 6 years
Wow.
later, I lived in Knoxville and he came by
Hmm.
again, and I got to meet him and remind him of that story. And it was just
So
a
cool.
wholesome moment. Our first son was 6 weeks old at the time, and he held him on his
Mhm.
Instagram and did a whole little tease with that, and it was just a really fun
So
moment.
cool.
He was
So
always good
cool.
to fans, always good to kids.
Agreed. Agreed. He really was the Power Ranger that we saw on the screen
Yes,
in real life.
he never stopped being Tommy. He never stopped being the Green Ranger.
Oh yeah.
So,
Yeah. And I mean, can you agree that some of these, the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers and some of these actors, I think should come to the DC universe. I think some of them could be cool.
oh, that'd be awesome.
So
That'd
cool.
absolutely be awesome.
Yeah,
Like we know they can fight. Bring them over. Give them.
exactly. Exactly.
Oh, Johnny Young Bosch would absolutely kill it. And like I can think of five immediately at the top of my head. It's just which one I like him in most.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah. And so growing up, who would you say was kind of your Superman an actor who portrayed Superman? I know it's gone through a lot,
Yeah.
through us growing up, we've had a lot, but who was that first person that you saw on the screen
So
that was like,
the
yeah,
the first one that made it was Christopher Reeve. Absolutely
Christopher,
was.
you know?
I saw
Yeah.
his movies, and between his movies and the animated show from the
Mhm.
90s, that was my
Okay.
Superman experience and my introduction. And then
Mm.
after that, I got Tom Welling and Dean Cain. And
Yes.
those are my next two. And then
Too. Yeah.
Brandon Routh came along in the mid 2000s. And so I got to grow up just kind of getting a new dose every couple of
Mm.
years. But yeah, and especially overseas, Smallville was one of the few shows that military families could get on their channels as they
Oh
wanted
wow.
to watch. So I still was able to
Oh,
keep up with it through Japan, through
yeah.
Germany, through all the places that I was able to
Wow.
go. And I
What a
watched the
great
season
show to have.
finale, like the series finale happened right before I left Germany and came
Wow.
stateside. And like
And can
that's
you agree that I know a lot of people say, CW sometimes doesn't, there's like, they have this persona that CW is not great, but in my opinion, Smallville, they nailed. And then to end this
yeah,
DC with CW with Superman and Lois, can you agree that it's cinema? It's amazing.
it's poetic, very much
Yeah,
so. Yes.
I agree.
Um, yeah, no, they Smallville really set the standard, and then for them to
Yeah,
close it out back on Clark and Lois
super.
again
Yeah.
is a nice touch.
Which shout out to Bitsy, the Lois Lane as well, because she's doing an amazing job this season. I mean, throughout the whole
Absolutely,
series, she was amazing. But this
absolutely.
season, truly amazing. And what does Superman mean to you? If I would ask it,
Mm.
probably a intense question. Somebody had asked me that, and it took me, I was like, oh my gosh, that's such a great question.
Let's
It
see.
means so much.
I've been thinking about it the last few days because I figured that
Yeah.
that would come up, and I
Oh,
still don't have a good answer.
yeah. It's hard
Um,
because he means so
it
much to all of us, I feel.
that's really it.
Yeah.
My main thing was growing up. My mom went through a lot of surgeries,
Okay.
so everything from she had a double mastectomy to
Mm.
a double lower abdomen hernia at the same
Wow.
time.
Wow. Wow.
And my dad was still active duty, so he was getting
Mm.
deployed while my brother and I were having to stay home and do bandage changes. So
Wow.
to her, she was Wonder Woman, having survived
Mm.
all that, and she's gone through more since then. The count is over 50 major put
Wow.
under
She's
surgeries now.
strong. She's
Spinal
definitely
fusion
from film scare.
rebuilds to complete just emergency life-saving surgery, cut
Yeah.
her open, find out what's wrong.
Wow.
So she's Wonder Woman through and through. You think my collection's something, you should see her Wonder Room.
Oh.
The ceiling doesn't have any empty space at this point.
No, wow. Oh, that's a,
But
so she was
yeah,
a comic. She is a comic fan as well with Wonder Woman
she
and
was
everything.
she was the Wonder Woman fan. She brought my brother into the
Wow.
comic book world. It brought me up specifically kind of into the Superman spotlight. And
Oh wow.
so
So it's been in your
I've
family.
always been in that light in her eyes.
Mhm.
And so that's
Mm.
always who I'll be in a big core of my person.
Yeah.
And part of that is literally just help people like you would help your mother.
Mm.
That's what
Agreed.
Superman is to me, is smile at everyone you see on the street. Help them as much as you
Right.
can. My mother is probably the most generous person I know. She has $100 and she can get by on 10. She'll give out 90.
Yeah,
She
she
doesn't care
sounds
if
like
they're
an
going to
amazing
use it
person.
and
I want to
waste
meet.
it. She doesn't care if they're going to use it and get rich off it. She doesn't care if they're going to just burn it, but she'll give it out to
Wow.
help them if she thinks it's going to help them.
That's
So
amazing.
she was a big part of that. And my grandpa was to her dad. Um, and
Amazing.
my father, the military man who stayed in the
Hmm.
military while my mom helped raise the boys, was very much, hard, good morals, good work ethic.
Hmm.
So I let that speak for
Wow.
myself in those terms, and then do
Yeah.
this when I can to show who I am in my life. So
That's
it's what I
amazing.
do with it that means the most.
And your family sounds amazing. By the way, I just want to say that first.
Thank
You
you very
guys
much.
really sound like you guys are the Kent family. It's just hearing your stories and hearing you talk about it. I want to meet your whole family. They sound so
My
cool.
my wife is sitting over here, and she's wonderful. She
Yeah,
stays
yeah,
home with the kids and
person.
allows me to go to
Uh,
New York and to go to all these cons and do all these things. So I really can't thank her enough.
so she's your Lois Lane. She's your.
Absolutely.
Has she done
Um,
Lois? Have you guys done Superman and Lois Lane together? You got to do.
Not a proper. Where
No,
she's
no.
going to be very picky about the purple jacket and the
Yeah,
white skirt, and
yeah.
it has to be her way of doing it and
It's me.
her
Yeah.
style. So
Uh,
it'll happen
uh,
eventually.
and um, you mentioned, well, you were just mentioning how we kind of have gone through, and I think you and I was born in 96, you were born in 97. I think we are fortunate enough that we were able to see, go through Christopher Reeve, whether it was with our families, and then we saw Tom Welling, and we've really seen every actor. And now we're continuing to see, and we'll see probably numerous in our time. Your sons, you're going to see their Superman eventually when, it gets handed from David to another person. I hate thinking like that because I want to live in the moment.
Hey,
But
for me, like that'll
yeah,
be next.
yeah. Oh, you'll be that.
Yeah,
Well, that's going to
it'll
be
happen
my,
one
yeah,
day, right?
yeah.
They've got
It
to replace
could.
him
Hey,
eventually for the next guy.
it
For the
could.
next guy.
Exactly. Well, that's what my next question. And I'm gonna say probably if it wasn't Superman and James Gunn knocked on your door and he said, "Hey Taylor, how you doing? We want to bring you on because you're so great onto the DC." Who would you want to play if you got the chance? If it
Give
wasn't
me,
Superman, if it wasn't Superman.
give me a lantern. Give me Kyle Rayner.
Well,
Give
I was
me
just gonna say I was looking at, and you kind of look like Kyle, right? You could pull off a Kyle
Kyle's
cosplay. Have you done that
story.
yet?
I absolutely love it. I'm an
Yeah.
artist. I love lantern stuff. Behind all this, I've got
You
all
got a
of
bunch
my
of
personal stuff of like I could do a podcast on just the lantern suit.
the
Don't get me
lantern.
started.
Oh, really? Oh, that's so cool. Well, lanterns is coming. We'll have to have you back on so we can talk about lanterns. Are you excited for that? For the
Immensely. I
Yeah,
built like a giant. They would take up this entire space here. Just a
yeah.
big prop 3D construct gun
So me. Yeah,
that it's not 3D printed. It's just Sprite
yeah.
bottles and any green plastic toy and
Okay.
like little plastic planes, and they're shooting little plastic scissors and
Oh,
just
so
all fun sorts of imagination brought to
yeah.
life in my cosplay in every sense of I don't need special effects. Ryan Reynolds deserve better.
Okay. Exactly. I agree.
So
Hey, listen, I saw the movie. I liked it. It was not the amazing, not the best superhero
it
movie.
told the story that it needed to tell. It
Exactly.
could have been done better. Yeah.
I think Ryan can be a little nicer on Green Lantern. It wasn't that bad. No more jokes
He
with Hugh
doesn't help the
Jackman.
cause. No,
No, yeah,
he's not pouring water on the fire. That's certainly not the case.
exactly. Are you also a Marvel fan too? Do you like that? Have you ever cosplayed anything from
I
Marvel?
I am. I've done Captain America. I would love to do a
Oh,
Spider
wow.
Man, and I've been told that I would make a decent Wolverine.
Oh,
So
I was gonna say
at
because I had the
at this
Deadpool in my head.
point,
I was like,
with
Wolverine.
the cavalry suit over my shoulder, the
Oh,
cavalry is just canon.
Cavalry. It's got to come.
So
It's got to. You got to go find a motorcycle too, and you can recreate that scene with
I'll do my
Henry.
best.
Yeah.
And like those back muscles are my ultimate life goal. So we'll
Yeah.
see.
That's amazing. And how is because I've seen you blow up on social media. I'm seeing you. A lot of people are reposting you.
Thank you.
A lot of people are resharing, and I do want to let the Kryptonians who are watching make sure you're tagging him. His handles below. They are artists.
Greatly
Cosplayers
appreciate
are
that.
artists as well, and they deserve their hard work deserves to be tagged. So please make sure you're tagging. Down below, you'll see his tags. But how is that you could be on social? I mean, I'll be on social media and I'll see you on somebody's story. I'll see you on somebody's, posting you. How does that feel? Like, did you ever
Um,
expect that to happen? Brandon from Comic Book,
I did
even, right?
not.
Like, it's so cool.
About an hour ago,
Yeah.
Liz Wonder let me know that Zack Snyder just liked my Vero post.
Oh,
So
shoot.
I don't know what's happening right now. I'm just
Wow.
enjoying the
That's
ride while I
amazing.
can. Like I
And
figured, like authenticity is the best consistency. So here's
mhm,
me. Here's who I am. I hope you all
yeah,
like it. I'm
yeah.
Taylor.
And
Yeah.
your proof of, be kind, be nice, stay strong, and eventually you get the recognition you deserve, and you're getting it. And I'm happy you're
Hmm.
getting Zack Snyder's noticing you, James Gunn signed you, you're in
I
this
can't
high. I
believe
love it.
it.
Yeah,
I really can't believe it. To be that kid who grew up feeling like an alien
yeah,
in lands that I couldn't immediately speak those languages, and it
mhm,
felt like being an alien and outcast, resonating with the character in that kind of way, and then getting to come back stateside, thrown into
mhm.
these communities that I didn't think I'd get a chance to be a part of.
Wow,
It's surreal, and to
yeah, wow, yeah. Just
accidentally excel through the ranks like that, yeah.
thinking about it, and how you said you would go to Japan and Germany, and you're all over. You really
Mhm.
were coming from the sky into each country,
That's
landing,
right.
and you were new everywhere, and you
Like
embodied
I
Clark
was
Kent,
flying
and
since I was 6 months
it's
old.
not easy. Wow. Wow. Look at that. See,
So
that's exactly when I'm sure Clark figured out he could fly. That's awesome.
yeah,
Amazing.
I did skydive in Germany
Oh,
wearing the suit once.
wow.
It was cold. There was a jumpsuit over it, but there is a picture of it zipped down and me
Oh,
doing
and
the
you,
thing.
that's awesome.
So
It's amazing.
I did
Awesome.
fly in it
Awesome.
one time, and then also technically flew in it, jumping off a building to get that shot.
That is sick. That's a nice shot.
I
That's
showed
cool.
that to Ray Porter at a con that I met him at,
Oh, yeah.
and I showed up. I was like, "So I met you before," and showed that to him. I was like, "Holy crap, what's this?"
He's like,
And
what?
it's just like, "So that's not Photoshop. That's me actually jumping off the roof of that building to get that." And he was just like,
So cool.
"Okay."
Wow.
And
Talk of,
I was wearing the suit that I handmade. He's married to one of the costume designers that worked on the whole Snyderverse. So him and I just had the whole
wow.
conversation about the costumes of it.
So
I showed him my
cool.
lantern stuff. It,
Wow.
he is a wonderful human being. Wonderful human being. Shout out Ray Porter for all that.
Shout out. He really is. And you could see it on social media. I hope I get to meet him one day. But that's so cool that you got to show him that and
Yeah,
experience
really
talking
awesome
to
guy.
him.
He signed the picture that's in the middle of my newspaper of my collection.
Well,
Is he
is it
signed that little four by
the
six?
same shot?
Yes, yeah, just smaller
Oh,
picture that
that's
I
so
could
cool.
put into my little newspaper frame and set that up like I did. He signed it
So
all
cool.
Kryptonian.
Oh,
So,
that's amazing. He's like, in the movies, I hate you, but here I'll like you.
oh yeah, he
Yeah.
shook my hand and then said, I would have kicked your butt if they let me. Yeah,
Oh, that's awesome. That's amazing.
fair, fair.
That's awesome.
I'll take
Very
it.
fair. Very fair. And how I saw, oh, what the thing that I see a lot on social media is your video with Liz, Wonder Woman. I see that a lot
Yes.
with you guys standing.
She
Um,
is the sweetest. Her and I have
she
followed
really,
each other for years, back and
yeah,
forth. I was a huge fan of
yeah,
her Gal Gadot stuff, and she loved my Henry Cavill suit, and just
so
that
cool.
connection back and forth through the
Yeah,
years. We've chatted over that, and finally getting the chance at New York Comic Con to bump into her, and like
right.
that video was within the first 2 minutes of me meeting her.
Mm, yeah,
So it was literally
so
just
cool.
boom that quick, that fast,
Get
and
it
then
done.
she was
Yeah.
just off doing the next thing. But I was so glad that that little moment was immortalized and that
Oh, of
everyone
course.
loves it.
Yeah,
So
we do.
I
We love it.
got a few good shots of the suit before it got signed and had to get put up.
Oh,
So
yeah,
that's one of the good
I
ones.
know. I know now all the photographers are like, no, now I can't get the shot with the signature. And then you're like, no, do you want the shot though? You want this shot?
Yeah, right. I was like, wait, what? Like light exposure? What do I like? Yeah, yeah,
Well, luckily it was Saturday too, so you only had Sunday to take it.
yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes.
And so, do you have any advice that you would give a new cosplayer that might be shy or not sure if they want to do it and how to get started? Hmm.
I have obsessed hours over details that no one will ever see, but
Hmm.
I've enjoyed the process. So it is
Hmm.
all about, as long as you still enjoy it, keep doing it.
Hmm.
The point
Love it.
where it's just a chore and a labor, and you're not going to enjoy wearing it, you're not going to enjoy being in it, you don't even want
Hmm.
to put it on the day of it. It's not worth it. But if you can enjoy the process, enjoy, like, not necessarily even like have to live the character that you're cosplaying as.
Hmm.
That for me, it helps, and it's just kind of my look, so I ride with it. But like
Hmm.
I also do Flash, Green Lantern, Green
Oh, wow,
Ranger.
you can fly.
I've got a Homelander Halloween costume that is
Oh.
very dusty, but it's just blonde. Well, not
Yeah.
a good look. But as far as entry cosplay, it's really just enjoy it while you do it.
Hmm. Oh,
Like
yeah.
there are guys that hand sew their suits together that they still look amazing, amazing, and it's
Love it.
the effort that some people put in compared to someone just buying it.
Hmm.
Like, yeah, you can still buy it and wear it and cosplay the character, and that's completely fine. But
Hmm.
if you can put just a touch of your heart and soul and
Your
your
own
love
touch.
into
Yeah.
that and wear it and show
Oh,
the
yeah.
world what you did in that,
Hmm.
then you might show the next guy an idea to make his a little bit easier. You
Hmm.
never know how that knowledge might pass on. So
I
it's
agree.
important to things of
I
like
agree.
like little wrist zippers and things like this on this suit. I hand put those into my other suits to make that
Oh,
easier to
wow.
get into.
Get in and
So
out.
like
Yeah.
these things are like commercialized now, but I did that on mine 8 years ago.
Hmm. Wow.
And little things like that. Or like, yeah, duct tape is very vibrant, burns well,
Is that a
very nice.
Shazam one? What's the one with the white, the,
Okay, so you're the Superman
oh,
fan. You tell me what deep cut this is.
oh, snap. You got the little boxing up in here. That's awesome.
Like when
Wow, you really
President
have the
Luthor puts a
iconic one.
bounty on you and sends some heroes,
Yeah.
I can't help what happens. Magic
That's
didn't win that day. So,
that's amazing.
I will say Public Enemies is still my favorite animated DC movie of all time.
Oh yeah, I
Like
agree. It's one of the
the
best.
craziness of Luthor showing his duality of politician and maniac. That
Oh
line
yeah.
is displayed very well. The relationship of Batman and Superman, of getting shot
Mhm.
with the kryptonite bullet by Metallo, and they're joking about Flash as he's trying not to die and hold up the coffin of, where's the Flash when you need him? Do me a
Mhm.
favor, lose the sense of humor, do us
Yeah,
both a favor and buy one. Like that.
exactly.
That's my Superman Batman. That is my
Well,
two figures and their relationship together. Them just one-on-oneing 12 villains like
oh
it's
yeah.
nothing. Like,
Oh yeah.
peak animation of DC.
And also, I guess with cosplay is it comes with needing to, well, you can tell me, I guess for me, I'm a chunkster. I was always chunky growing up, but luckily I got to join uh Geek Fitness, which is a great organization. And you as a cosplayer, if you ever wanted me to
Mm-hmm.
connect you, I would love to connect you with them. Um, but
Absolutely.
how do you stay fit? How do you stay ready for, the Superman cosplay? Any advice for that with the fitness and
Yes.
health?
I've got a little home gym that I spend a lot of time acquiring and setting up. It's about like 10 feet away through the basement doors that way.
Oh, that's so cool.
So that's been nice here lately. But before
Mhm.
that, it was just getting to the gym when I had time to
Yeah.
and make the most of it. Being mindful of diet is the biggest thing. I
Hmm.
drink more water than anything else.
Oh yeah.
That'll save so much people so
Mhm.
much trouble. Is watch what you
Mhm.
drink.
Yeah.
Our bodies are like 75% water, so the more of that stays
Oh
water,
yeah.
the better. You
Hmm.
function better, you feel better, your skin's clear, and like I still deal
Hmm.
with red spots and all that. I'm not a
Yeah.
perfect model, but a little bit of makeup goes a long way too.
Oh no. No.
Learning that is very
Yeah.
helpful.
Yeah.
Um, I almost have stock in hairspray companies now, and I figured out the good ones that
Oh,
work.
you got to get that
Uh,
sponsorship
but
for the hair.
the,
The hair.
the fitness is really just being mindful of it, trying
Yeah.
to live every day to be as fit as you can. We are
Hmm.
a very capable species, so
Hmm.
we should be able to do a lot of things throughout the day.
Hmm.
Um, and yeah, like it's nothing against anyone if
Hmm.
you are bigger or if you don't feel as you should feel in your
Hmm.
cosplay, or if things aren't as slimming as they should look or as you thought they would look.
Right.
That still doesn't matter. Like
Mhm.
the part that matters is you being happy in it.
Oh
So,
wow.
and
That's right.
I
Yeah.
promise you, anyone that sees your costume is going to absolutely be like, "Yeah, that's an awesome costume." They're not going to care 2 seconds about anything
Well,
else.
and that's one
Like,
thing that I've,
like trust me, even I don't think I'm a big guy, but I'll hear someone say, "Oh, cool, he's a big guy," and then I'll see a bigger guy, and be like, "Yeah, no, I'm not."
no,
They just
no, because you
go
can't
ahead and
take
go. So like,
too
there's
much.
always a bigger fish. You'll always
Yeah,
be checked.
exactly. Yeah. Have you
Like
ever,
it's
and
nothing to get hung up
something
over.
I have, a question, I guess. Have you ever, and I'm trying to decide right now, the movie's coming out, Superman, July 2025, right? That's a lot of time. And, my, when I work out, I'm slower than everybody else would be if, to get muscles and get all of that. It's a slow process. But what's your take on utilizing, um, the body armor, like putting the
And pads and
pads and
stuff.
stuff, or are you more of, be confident and show
So I have worn this both ways. I have
oh
worn
wow,
it
okay.
naturally as in my early 20s. I was an aspiring bodybuilder before I'm at my
Oh
wife's.
wow. Oh, that's so cool.
And then life happens. But I do also have a muscle suit that I sometimes wear with this. That is literally just
Okay.
a cheap. I made this out of upholstery foam and silver spandex that is now faded to white
Oh
spandex.
wow. Oh, you made that yourself?
Yes,
So
it's
cool.
an old bodysuit. I chopped the legs off of it, and I've got little bicep pads, a little ring of a horseshoe for a tricep, an old hollowed out Nerf football for
So
shoulders with little
cool.
strips of other
Wow.
pads, give some
Yeah.
shoulder definition, and then a couple of abs. Everything else blends to the costume. And I've got
So
like little
cool.
thigh pads that help accentuate those muscles, but
Wow.
sometimes I don't like that. Seems like I'll make every muscle of every muscle suit and be like, oh my god, everything needs to be perfect. And half the time, people won't even notice or care. And not wearing
Right.
them, you'll get the same reactions as I would wearing them. Like Dragon Con, I wore both in the same day and got the same response.
Wow.
So
Okay.
literally just up to you and how comfortable you want to be. People will love it
Right.
either way. They just want to see
Right.
you in the character, being the character, and having a good time.
Wow.
So
It's amazing
muscle
advice.
padding, like this one here, has a little bit in the shoulders from Sim Cosplay, but
Um,
everything else is fairly natural all the
it,
way through. Like there's a
it's
little bit of like
all
knee
natural.
padding and stuff, but
Hmm.
that's about it. It just lets the cape kind of flow the way that it should
Yeah.
over the
Well, how is it having the undies back? How is it having
it,
the trunks back?
having not worn them for so long, it
Yeah.
feels weird.
Does it?
It
Yeah.
feels right to have the belt there, but
Yeah.
it feels, I don't know. For me personally, like other people have been wearing the reef suits and stuff out a lot longer and between
Right.
everything, but like my Cavill has been my go-to. So having them
Mhm.
back is a learning curve again, but
It is. Yeah.
I don't dislike it.
No. You're in either or because there was a big debate on should we have the trunks or should we? It's kind of funny what people on social media debate, but that was one debate, and you
Like
just got to get used to it, right?
when I first saw the Cavill suit, I thought that it looked awful. And then I saw the
Oh
movie and I
wow.
was like, that's amazing. Oh my God, I'm in love. So
Hmm.
it's all of how it's gonna look when we see it. Like
Oh yeah.
I'm a big believer of that of we haven't seen the movie. Like even a trailer isn't a movie. Like wait till the
I
movie
agree.
comes out, wait till you watch the whole thing. When the credits
I agree.
roll, there's your opinion.
I agree.
So
And
I'll have
when
mine
the
done,
set,
but I
yeah,
am
when the
excited.
and when the set photos do come out, they're not, that's not the final product, so people have to, wait to see
Yes.
what
I'll
that
say
final product.
for even set photos, everything's colored and detailed very well. Like they're
Right?
not
I
leaving a
agree.
lot for post.
I agree. I definitely agree. And I know it's late over where you are. I'm on the West Coast. I so appreciate you being able to, do this
Oh,
with me. I
absolutely.
do want to ask you, definitely, if you ever, I want to have you back on too as we get closer. Maybe I put on the suit with you and we're doing the interview with, my suit. And maybe eventually down the line, if everything works out, I do
I've
a
got a
watch
spare room.
party.
Come on over.
And
The
oh yeah,
farm is
oh yeah, I
welcoming.
have to come. I do. That is on my list of places to go. You guys have Tennessee has a Comic Con. I think who was telling me was I talking to Bitsy because I was trying to meet Bitsy Little thing, and I was
Yep.
I was messaging her and I was like, oh, I want to meet you. You guys have a Comic Con, right? No, she was going to
We've got a
Dallas. I
few.
think you do,
Um,
right? Okay,
so Fanboy runs some in Dallas and Knoxville and Orlando.
okay, okay,
So that's one of the bigger ones. We've also got Smoky Mountain Fan Fest is another really
okay.
good one.
So maybe I got to come over
There's a
for one of
lot
those cons.
around Tennessee, but those are the
Yeah.
first two big ones that I go to.
Oh wow, okay. All right, so I'll have to come. But to wrap everything up, is there anything that you want to just share, that you want to ramble on about Superman, about your experience, anything you want to share with your journey or anything last minute?
Oh, well, that's a lot to throw on me last minute.
Oh no. Well, anything
Um,
that you just want to, your love for Superman movie that's coming out. Um,
I am very excited and very trusting, and the despite what life has done to me on
mhm,
some fronts, I'm still an optimist, and I try to be at heart. So I'm very excited for this new movie coming out. I want to see the fandom unite over it, and I've got a lot of really close friends that are die-hard Snyderverse fans. I was
mhm.
too. The night that James Gunn signed this, I wore my Zack Snyder Justice League shirt around Times Square. So
Oh,
there's two
yeah,
sides to it.
yeah,
But to me, the character is the character. I'll support him in any media, through any drama. I will be there for what this S stands for. For me, it's an
Yes.
S that means smile because you can make
Hmm.
anyone smile if you're kind enough. No matter what day they're
Agreed.
having, no matter what's happening in life, if everyone smiled at each other a little bit more
Mhm.
often, I believe that the world could be a better place. So Superman means a lot to me on that, but it's really just it's time that we all had a friend again, and we were reminded of
Mm,
that.
I agree. And you said it beautifully. We're a community. We're Superman fans at heart. First, before we fell in love with Henry, before we fell in love
Hmm.
with Christopher Reeve, we fell in love with Clark Kent, we fell in love with Superman, Smallville, we fell in love with
Hmm.
that character, and we need to remind ourselves of that. And I'm hoping we're all remembered. We remind ourselves that we do love Superman and we do love anybody who takes on the role. And you sound excited. If James Gunn ever wants to watch this or anything, you sound exactly like Superman. James, you better reach out to this guy before somebody else picks him up. We don't need Marvel to pick him. Call Taylor because
Hey,
he sounds
Connor's not
exactly.
casted yet, right? I'll take the
This
Superboy
is very
position.
true. Connor is not
Very easy.
casted yet. Anybody in the
Promise. The rest of the suit isn't padded. It's all there.
yeah, exactly. But thank you again for coming. And Kryptonians, please follow him. What are your
Thank y'all
handles
very
so that
much for
they
having
follow
me.
you? What did they hand
It
your
is
hand?
Super Taught Cosplay on Instagram, Vero, and
Okay.
Threads.
Awesome. So make sure you follow him. You won't be disappointed with the content you see. It's action, it's hard work, it's art. Don't forget to also tag him if you repost him because it is art and he does put a lot of
Most
work
certainly.
into it. So
The
thank you
capes
again.
are paid actors in most of the shots. I will admit that the capes are
Yeah.
paid actors. Yeah.
Yeah. And thank you, Tyler. And we'll talk
Thank
soon,
you
man.
very much, guys.
Of
Have a great
course.
night.